Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SB Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Bobby Helms titled Jingle Bell Rock. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track off screen on YouTube. To see official video for it, we're going to listen through it from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's do it, let's go. I presume this is a more recent animation. Considering I think this was released in 1957.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime and jingle bells.
I do like the personality of the music video though.
Prancing in Jingle Bell Square in the frosty air. What a bright time! It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in the one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling feet. That's the Jingle Bell Rock.
You can hear like a little bit of distortion or gain on the vocals simply because of the time it was recorded.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime.
It's still really great recording quality.
Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square in the frosty air. What a bright time! It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in the one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling feet. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell Rock.
I mean, it's just a really charming rendition or animation of it. You know, it's a really beautiful song. Beautiful. It's got kind of wholesome, nostalgic, I suppose. But it's just also nice to have a bit of tongue-in-cheek in there, but like a video that kind of represents the mood of it a little bit, I suppose in a more contemporary extent. But we're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Bobby Helms titled Jingle Bell Rock. In this section, I'm going to be providing an overall sort of song analysis as well as any applicable constructive critique. And then finally, my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But first of all, what do we think this track is about? I think this is about rocking your way through Christmas. I think this was released in the late 50s, so it was around the time that rock and roll was really taken off, as per, again, like the kind of gritty, kind of like the fizzy guitars, the kind of bit of vocal fry occasionally, you know, a bit of kind of oomph behind it. And I think this would have been quite heavy for the time, if I'm not mistaken. There's kind of a swingish kind of groove to the drums that kind of like represents Christmas. You've got the bells, the jingles and everything like that. And I just ultimately feel like the mood, the spirit of the lyrics themselves, that it's basically all about making the most of that time, you know, the silly season, the festive season, spending it rocking in the square, etc., you know, having fun with friends. And I kind of think the idea of them sort of like racing together, you know, all the different people racing in the music video kind of represents people just trying to have fun during the season, the celebration, again, to all your friends at the end. Ultimately, it's just a really sort of like wholesome story. And I think it was made just as much to kind of be, again, a part of the festive season as simply for Bobby Helms to express their views on it and kind of add a different perspective than simply the wholesomeness of a lot of other sort of more sort of like, I think, gentle carols. The vocals from Bobby Helms in this are fantastic. They're very, very comfortable in their vocal range, the head chest voice. They're very, you know, like careful with their melodies. They have some major minor leanings, but there's also some bluesy phrasings with the scales present and some chromatics. I think that the kind of the backing vocals of the lady, the kind of like quartet behind him there, kind of providing a fantastic, ooh, you'd like a kind of like, there was like this kind of doo-wop kind of like style in like the 50s. But also when they have their own sort of like little chorus or bit there, again, I think it's like a barbershop quartet or something like that. They smash it. They're very sort of like comfortable hitting the different notes to create the chords and then within the harmonies. And the expression is very gentle and pleasant to listen to. And it's got less fizz than Bobby's vocals, which is a nice textural contrast. But Bobby has a nice sort of lower end to his voice as well there, like a nice resonance. Has as much production as performance. And it's simply, we repeat these different melodies at different parts of the song to kind of make it a bit more sort of catchy and predictable and easy to follow along with. I don't think you need this to be too avant-garde. But yeah, just generally, a really fantastic vocal performance. I think as well, structurally, the track is about 2 minutes or something like that, which is incredibly short. And it might not have necessarily been as short for the time period, but nowadays it's quite short. It's kind of what a lot of singles are going back to after being 3 to 4 minutes with the 90s and 2000s. I think that when you have different verses and different choruses, as well as that instrumental kind of guitar intro there that we had, the little solo section, which immediately giving you the Christmas aesthetic there with the sleigh bells and everything like that. It's just clever. It's just clever decision making to establish an aesthetic on mood at the start there. Have that kind of bluesy lead lick on the guitar to illustrate what kind of style of music we're going to be doing. And then we have, again, the catchiness of the vocals to lead us through, with the backing vocals providing additional contrast and sort of like context, I think the guitar is one of the most important instruments within this track. I like that we have this kind of slight drive on it, and it's kind of crispy and glows within the mix. It's got a bit of sass with its lead playing there with a mixture of hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides and bends. But it also, and it sticks with some sort of like dominant seventh chords occasionally, but it also knows how to work between triads and sort of accent certain notes. And it's just a fantastic lead element, or like an alt lead when it needs to be. And it's supportive in the little gaps and call and responses when it needs to as well. There's also this double bass that's walking underneath that's really pleasant to listen to, and it kind of rolls with a chord note accent there, reinforcing certain chords within the harmonies and just adding that sort of jazzy quotient to it that's really important for music of this time. It's just got a nice sort of like body to it, and it's a wonderful low end without being too much. It's got a kind of a shorter sound to a lot of the notes there, which means that it's kind of more percussive as well, which works alongside the drums, which follow a swingish kind of pattern there, which the mixture of sort of cymbals, kicks, and brushes on the snares. There are some occasional kind of like snare fills to kind of add a bit of suspense and drama before we boom, go back into the toms there. But ultimately, the drums are definitely more of a support device alongside, I suppose, the bass guitar. And I think that the mixture, again, of these guitars, bass, and drums alongside the different vocal takes add a lot of flavor to the piece. Alongside the sleigh bells, which are in a swing rhythm that works well alongside. I think they might even be in place of the rides that might typically be there. I was also just having a listen for other instruments within there, and I think those are the main ones. And with such a minimalist composition, I have to really sort of appreciate the effort put in to try and make a compelling I think that the shorter form factor makes sense in that regard. I was kind of waiting for pianos or keys, but then of course, like, I think that a lot of music, especially from like the 30s and 40s, was piano oriented with the swing, and there's like a lot of the kind of like music so you can get away with not having a piano, and I think it actually makes it more refreshing to not have that, alongside a lack of a significant orchestral accompaniment. It can be very easy to provide this nostalgic vintage cozy feel with like a string section, but here we simply, again, it's rocking. It's meant to be kind of rocking, and you're kind of bouncing along, and I think it's a great fusion, again, those jazz swing elements alongside the rock and roll styles of the 50s. Thematically, there is a sort of a majorish feel to a lot of it, with occasional dominant sevenths there for a bit of angst, but there's extensions created with the guitars, as well as the kind of like legato vocal harmonies in the background as Bobby kind of rolls around as a lead. Again, I think the bluesy phrasing is more sort of the sound called like a stylistic thing. It's not that we're negative about the environment we're in. So I think the fact that it finishes on a down, 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 ba-dum, with like a kind of this very sophisticated chord at the end there, is really neat. It just kind of lets you know, hey, things are good. There's chill vibes. It might be a bit bluesy occasionally with the phrasing on the lead, but it's still, we're still having fun. And I think again that bit of kind of spice to the guitar tones, etc., adds a bit of kind of like extra, kind of it makes it kind of sound cool, I suppose, a bit less generic. So I think ultimately it's partly the instruments, again, like the sleigh bells that make it sound Christmassy, as well as the subject matter. And I think just everything else, just absolutely sort of like a vibe in terms of the instrument performance. Very tight as well, not out of place. The studio production, recording, mixing, and mastering is fantastic as well. I really enjoy the sound of the way things are leveled within the mix and the frequency spectrum, as well as the stereo field. Very, very easy to listen to. I'm really happy with the quality of the vocal recording, especially given the time. I don't even think they were doing stereo stuff back then, so I wonder if this has been remastered, but regardless, it's great. And the music surrounds you in the headphones. There's no issues with dynamic range or peaking, or there are no uncomfortable moments. It's commercial grade. It's a classic. Nice line without plumbing, so bus compression limiting his handle, but also the air's not squeezed. It's like, it's got kind of life to it. We aren't trying to smash the listener's head in with like sound there. We're just trying to provide a nice kind of chill one that I feel would be more heavy for the time, especially nowadays with how music's evolved over the last almost 70 years. But ultimately, yeah, they didn't need help in post. They could just sing. So ultimately, this is just a really positive review. I don't think there's no applicable constructive critique here. I just feel like it's a classic. You wouldn't want to change anything, especially given the limitations of recording and studio production at that time. My general thoughts from a listener's perspective are that I think it's just makes me feel Christmassy. You'll see that I put a little bit of extra effort in today to kind of sing Christmassy, and partly because I do like Christmas. And I just thought it'd be nice to look at a Christmas song to kind of finish the year out. I was going to do a Polyphia song next week, but the truth is that playing God is kind of tough to play on the guitar, and I just feel like I need more time with it. So I'll probably just kind of like upload another video next week. I have the week off. I don't want to sort of like put a video out unless I believe in it. But like, or I might even see if I move stuff in the new place, because I'm moving to and we'll see how we go. But because we're moving to a new studio is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, thank you for watching my review of this track from Bobby Helms, Jingle Bell Rock. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SB Reviews. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy holidays to yourself and the family and everyone around you. Hopefully you have a great 2026, and I will see you in the new year. Stay cool, Shredders. Spiderhands